Hello everyone and welcome to my channel where I talk about weapons from movies, games and TV shows and compare them to real life examples. In this video, I will tell you about the latest version of the Kalashnikov, the AK-12. You will learn how it was made, what its main features are and whether it's still as good as the previous versions of the AK. You will also find out why the AK-12 has caused a lot of arguments and discussions around its design. Are you interested in hearing all of this? Then hit the like button and watch this video till the end. Let's dive into the story behind the AK-12 rifle, one of the coolest guns out there. The AK-12 officially hit the market in 2012, making it one of the freshest rifles on the block. The first prototype was created by the Kalashnikov concern in 2011, and it was a radical new assault rifle that incorporated the best features of previous AK series rifles. The chief designer of the Izhevsk machine building plant, Vladimir Zlobin, gave a presentation on the AK-12 in 2012, and it was a hit with the commission members. They were particularly impressed with its stability during firing and noted that it had reduced recoil and deviation during automatic fire. Another test was conducted in the same year, and the AK-12 was chosen to participate instead of the AK-107. Unfortunately, it lost to its rival, the cord rifle, in the first stage due to reliability issues. To fix this, the Degatrov plant, which was developing the cord, took over the AK-12's development, and the Kalashnikov concern had to foot the bill. In 2016, the Kalashnikov concern presented a revamped version of the AK-12 at the Army 2016 forum that improved the rifle's design to eliminate the shortcomings found during testing, and they reduced the cost of production while significantly improving its accuracy during shooting. 2 years later, the Russian military adopted the AK-12 for use by the ground forces, airborne troops and marine infantry. So there you have it. The AK-12 is the newest kid on the block, and it's ready to make a bang in the world of rifles. Now let's learn about the technical features and how the AK-12 works on the inside. First off, cartridge and go with a low impulse 5.45 39mm cartridge instead. This made the weapon more accurate and reduced its recoil, plus 300 rounds of the 5.45 weight, the same as the 200 rounds of 7.62. So it's a win in the weight department too. Oh, and fun fact, the 5.45 by 39mm cartridge has a muzzle energy of 1500 joules, whereas the old 7.62 by 39mm cartridge ranges from 500 to 2000 joules. The AK-12 operates on a rotating bolt system, where the bolt rotates to lock the chamber between the barrel and the rest of the firearm when the action moves it forward. It also has a unique firing system where the trigger and sear are connected by a metal cable. When the bolts lock, the sear releases the trigger and strikes the firing pin, which then ignites the primer and fires the bullet. After firing, the bolt unlocks, ejects the spent cartridge and loads a new round. The AK-12's fire mode selector also doubles as a safety switch and can switch between single shots, 2-round bursts and continuous fire. It has a firing rate of 650 rounds per minute and a bullet velocity of around 910 meters per second. The AK-12 has a sighting range of 1 kilometer, which is quite impressive for an assault rifle. And of course, everyone wants to know, what's the real difference between the new and old Kalashnikovs? And as an example, let's take a look at the AK-74. Both of these rifles have the same caliber of 5.45 by 39mm, which means that the muzzle energy should be approximately the same. The weight has also remained the same at 3.5 kilograms for both models, which is not very pleasing. Even the barrel length of 41.5 centimeters has not changed. So what's the catch? The catch is in the design, because in the new Kalashnikov, they reduced the recoil as mentioned earlier and increased accuracy. This includes an increased rate of fire up to 650 rounds per minute compared to 600 in the AK-74. And of course, all the nuances of installing new attachments are always provided for in new designs, which probably wasn't fully accounted for in the 1974 when the first version of the AK-74 was developed. In terms of many technical solutions, The updated Kalashnikov has received a lot of negative feedback from those who have used this weapon. Many parts were changed without acute necessity, which essentially means that they changed some details that has been working perfectly well for many years. In the new AK, they fixed something that wasn't even broken. The gas chamber plug is one of the main complaints. While the AK-12 is in a new state, you can remove it without any problems. However, after active shooting and even after a small amount of dirt, you won't be able to remove this part without a lot of effort and handy tools. Another issue is the gas tube cover. Now, after assembling and disassembling the weapon, it is possible to put the cover on backwards, which can easily happen if an inexperienced soldier gets their hands on the AK-12. Another problem is the loss of compatibility of parts between the new AK-12 and older versions. The handguard, compensator muzzle brake, or handle from an older model will not fit, although previously almost all parts from previous generations' rifles were interchangeable. The pistol grip on the AK-12 is not detachable, which means that if it breaks, it cannot be replaced with a new one. Previously, in the event of a broken grip, it was easily removed and replaced with a new one. But many complaints were also related to the diopter sight. Historically, Soviet gunsmiths produced the Kalashnikov with an open sight, which did not cause any problems. However, a diopter sight can easily become clogged with snow or dirt, and cleaning is not as easy. In addition, when using this sight, the fighter greatly limits their field of view and cannot see anything around the object they are aiming at. Who would have thought that such a simple upgrade could turn a beloved and reliable assault rifle into a hot mess? Military personnel around the world are fuming with frustration and longing for the good old days of the AK-74. The shoddy quality control and questionable construction decisions have earned the AK-12 the title of the most hated version of all time. Talk about a major fail in the weapon upgrade game. Now let's take a look at which games we've seen this cool gun in and if its features were accurately represented. In games, this gun is still called the AK-12, and surprisingly, Russian developers didn't have to change its name for copyright reasons. We can't really compare the damage in the game to real life, but what we can compare is the rate of fire, which is only 600 shots per minute in the game, compared to the real-life 650. We also can't compare the shooting range of 1 kilometer, since game maps are usually smaller for gameplay purposes. However, we can compare the firing modes, and in Warface, we only see automatic fire, whereas in reality, there are way more firing modes. But in Rainbow Six Siege, things get more interesting because the game leans more towards simulating real combat situations than Warface. There, the AK-12 already has some firing modes, more realistic recoil instead of just shooting in one spot like in Warface. Even the animation of switching firing modes is present. However, the rate of fire in the game is much higher than in reality, around 850 shots per minute. Overall, the game still focuses on being a game, but compared to Warface, it's a lot more interesting. Since the weapon is relatively new, it's not very common in games, so let us know in the comments which other games you've seen it in.